Uh,
Jai Gurudev children, today we are going to study about the nutrition in animals. Now children, already you all have done 2 classes where Moshe madam have explained about what is life process, then which are the process which are included in life process. Then also I think she explained why reproduction is not included under that process. Now, so those part I'm not going to explain directly. I'm going to explain about the nutrition in animals. But before explaining what is how the nutrition takes place in animals, first you have to have some idea about how in animals, in generalized form, how the process takes place. Now, one thing you all should know that when we talk about nutrition, simple terms, we can say that nutrition is the process through which we take in food, utilize it, and the unwanted substance are removed from our body. But when we are asked to explain the nutrition process in animals, we can say that in all animals, that whole nutrition process is completed through 5 steps, where the first step is the ingestion, second one is the digestion, absorption, assimilation, and ingestion. Now, each of these steps, you have to know the meaning. Now, first let us take the ingestion. Ingestion means the taking in food, how we take in the food. That process is said to be ingestion. Then the next step is the digestion. And when we talk about digestion, digestion means the food which we have taken, those are not in simpler form. So first it has to be converted into simpler form. So that is done through the digestion process. That means through digestion, the complex foods are converted into simpler form with the help of some enzymes. Then the third step is absorption. Once when the food is converted into simpler form, it is transferred to different parts so that we can utilize. But before utilizing, it has to be accepted by our cell. That means the absorption should take place. So absorption means that taking in the simpler food so that we can utilize it for future purposes. And assimilation means is the utilization. So say for example, we have taken complex food, that is carbohydrate in the form of starch. Through digestion, it is converted into glucose, and that glucose, it is absorbed in our body and it is stored in our cell. So whenever we need energy, that glucose will help, and that is completed through the assimilation process. And then the last step is the ingestion. So while performing the 4 steps, many unwanted substances too are formed, which is not required by our body and it has to be removed. So ingestion means the removal of the unwanted substance from our body. So in order to complete the nutrition process, these 5 steps are very much essential. And it is common in all animals. But one thing we should remember, that all animals are of not same type. Some are unicellular, some are multicellular. Again, under multicellular means their complexity increases. Like if we compare the arthropoda with the chordata, vast difference are there. So similarly, while performing those 5 steps, the complexity increases in the complex organism. Now in your book, To explain the nutrition in animals, two examples are given. One, it has been taken from the simple organism, that is about the amoeba, and the other one from is the human being. So in detail, we have to study about these two organisms. So today we are going to study how nutrition takes place in amoeba. Now, one thing you have to remember, that before explaining the means what how the nutrition takes place in amoeba, certain terms you have to know. Maybe some terms you are already familiar, but again I am repeating. So there, the first term is the cytoplasm. So I think you all know what is cytoplasm. Cytoplasm means the fluid substance which are present inside the cell membrane outside the nucleus. And the second one is the another term, that is the phagocytosis. Now, phagocytosis is a process through which the amoeba takes the food. Means no doubt in them these 5 steps takes place, that is ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. But the way they take it is said to be phagocytosis. And it is said so because in order to take the food, they change their cell membrane and take the shape of cup shape, and ultimately they engulf the food materials. Since they are using the cell membrane, it is said to be the phagocytosis. So now let me explain how the nutrition process takes place in amoeba. Now before explaining, here's first in the first diagram you just see, I have drawn one structure, irregular structure with nucleus. This is the amoeba. Now one thing you should remember, that amoeba is an unicellular organism. They don't have any definite shape, and according to the situation they can change their shape by forming some false foot-like structures known as pseudopodia. Now in the second figure you just see B. So there I have drawn the food particles and one cup-like structure is shown there. Now here one thing you should know, that amoeba, they don't have any eye, but they are sensitive. So they, whenever they sense about the presence of food, formation of pseudopodia takes place, and they take the cup-shaped structures and try to engulf the food particles. So now that is completed in the third step, that is in C. Here, what? Here both the pseudopodia, the tips of the pseudopodia meet. So soon after meeting, the cell membrane among them gets dissolved and it forms the continuation of one structure, and inside which one globular structure is there, and inner to it, it has the food particles. Now this structure, it is known as the food vacuoles. So now the formation of food vacuoles had taken place within the amoeba, or we can say within the cell. So that it has completed the ingestion process. Now soon after ingestion process, the next step is the digestion. So digestion means, already I have explained, that converting the complex food into simpler form. So here, since it is unicellular, so the cytoplasm of the cell secretes many enzymes. So they act upon the food vacuoles, or you can say upon the food materials which are present inside the food vacuoles, and helps in completing the digestion process. Then soon after digestion, the next two process takes place, that is the absorptions and assimilation. These two are completed within the cell. Now after completing that, whatever the leftover, and that structure now it is known as the contractile vacuole. So now in the contractile vacuoles, it contains only the unwanted substance and also some amount of water. And here it goes on adding the unwanted substance as the process, the nutrition process goes on. Now, when the contractile vacuoles gets overloaded, it moves towards the cell membrane. So in figure F, here it is shown that it gets overloaded with in the figure E. So it's coming towards the cell membrane. So when they come in contact with the cell membrane, the wall gets dissolved and easily the unwanted substance are removed, or it is excreted out from their body. That means the completion of egestion has taken place. So in this way, the whole nutrition process is completed in amoeba. And here we have seen it's only that single cell which are capable of completing all the 5 steps. Now, so children, one thing we should remember, that whatever the thing or whatever their body set up, these 5 steps, it takes place, but it may differ according to their setup. Like next class, we will study about the digestion, or you can say the nutrition process in human being. So there, the process is not so simpler, but in them also, like this, all these 5 steps will take place. So those things in the next class, I'm going to explain. So now, today, just I have explained how the nutrition takes place in the amoeba. Now, one more thing I want to say y'all, that in your book, there they have mentioned about the paramecium. Now, paramecium is another simple organism where they have some hair-like structures throughout their body, which, and through this cilia, and it is an aquatic animal. So through the cilia, they transfer the food materials into this oral groove and then into the cell mount, and ultimately enter into their body, and there they complete the all 5 steps. So since there in your book, simply they have mentioned about paramecium and about the oral groove, so simply just I'm mentioning that here in paramecium, only through cilia, the whole process, means it helps in completing the nutrition process. So today only this much I'm going to explain now, but before ending, few things just I want to tell you all. Now say children, we can't meet you all in the class because of this present situation, and we are trying to explain these chapters like subtopic wise. We don't know whether you all are having your book or not, but still in the form of video or through or whatever I have explained just now, those things in written form also I'm going to send along through this video, along with this video. So you please go through it. If you have any doubt, next class, whenever we will meet, we will discuss about it. You can contact me. So in that way, we can clear the doubt. And along with it also, I have given you some questions. Try to complete it. So whenever we are going to have school, so that time we can go through those answers. Now, before ending, just one more thing I want to tell you all. Now, since you all are students who are going to appear board exam. So in board exam, maximum marks from science is from biology. So you should be very much thorough with your biology chapter. So we will try our best, and you all should also give your time to go through it. And please try to utilize your time in this present situation. So thank you. Jai Gurudev.